Welcome back to Movies Hub Recap, where we break down your favorite films so you never miss a detail. Today, we're diving into one of 2025's most mind-bending thrillers, The Occupant. Get ready for a story that will make you question reality itself. Now let's jump right in. Our story opens not in the frozen Hell's Cape where we'll soon descend, but with a quiet, heart-wrenching bond between two sisters, Abby and Beth. After the recent loss of their mother, Beth has become Abby's entire world, a protector and a nurturer. Their fragile peace is shattered when Beth is diagnosed with terminal cancer. Abby, played with fierce determination by Ella Balinska, is devastated but refuses to accept this death sentence. Her world narrows to a single, desperate focus: find a cure, no matter the cost. She learns of a radical, experimental treatment, a last-ditch hope offered by a pharmaceutical company. The catch? It's astronomically expensive. With the clock ticking, Abby, a brilliant geologist, makes a choice that will seal her fate. She accepts an incredibly dangerous but high-paying job searching for uranium deposits in the frigid, unforgiving mountains bordering Europe and Russia. The conditions are brutal, the work is grueling, and the location is a geopolitical minefield, but the thought of her sister's fading smile pushes her onward. Despite her expertise and relentless effort, the mountains yield nothing. The company hasn't paid her in advance, and back home, her father calls with worsening news about Beth. Panic begins to set in. Abby knows she can't go home empty-handed. In a moment of pure desperation, she tells her cautious colleague she's going deeper into the dense, forbidden forests near the Russian border, a place they are explicitly warned against entering. He refuses, knowing the dangers of wild animals and border patrols, but lends her his gun. Alone, Abby pushes into the silent, snow-covered woods. As she navigates the treacherous terrain, strange noises echo around her, making her clutch the borrowed gun tightly. But the sound isn't an animal. It leads her to a strange bare rock. As a geologist, she's seen thousands of rocks, but this one is different. It's a deep obsidian black, and it feels valuable. An instinct she can't explain tells her this is no ordinary mineral. Believing she's found her golden ticket, something she can sell to fund Beth's treatment, she hides it from her company. Just as a sliver of hope returns, another call from her father shatters it. Beth's condition is critical. There's no more time. Abby decides to go home immediately, telling her colleague she might not be back. She boards a helicopter, the strange black stone tucked securely in her bag. Halfway through the flight, soaring over the endless white expanse, she spots something flicker past the window. A bird? No. Before she can process it, a violent metallic screech rips through the air. The helicopter lurches, and she sees a dark, impossible shape collide with the rotor. The world turns into a storm of chaos, and then darkness. Abby awakens to a nightmare. The helicopter is a mangled wreck, half buried in snow. The silence is deafening. One pilot is dead. The other is barely clinging to life. Shoving down her panic, she uses what little she has to administer first aid, but the man is fading fast. She frantically searches the cockpit for a radio, a lifeline, but the communication system is destroyed. She is utterly, terrifyingly alone. Pulling out a map, her heart sinks. The nearest road is 60 kilometers away, an impossible journey in these sub-zero conditions. As night falls, she builds a fire, a tiny beacon of hope against the crushing darkness, desperately trying to keep the pilot warm. But her efforts are in vain. He dies before dawn. No one saw the fire. No one is coming. Realizing that staying put is a death sentence, Abby salvages what she can: supplies, food, the gun, and a walkie-talkie with a nearly dead battery. In a moment of ingenuity, she hooks the walkie-talkie up to the helicopter's battery, and a crackle of static breaks the silence. Then a voice. A man named John. In a staggering coincidence, he claims his helicopter has also crashed nearby. He describes his location, a lake and a forest, and his own dire situation, with severe injuries and a broken communication system. But there's a silver lining. John says he has a powerful radio that, with Abby's battery and geological expertise, could be repaired to call for rescue. Checking her map, she sees he's only 30 kilometers away, half the distance to the road. The choice seems obvious, but John warns her against it, telling her the route is too dangerous and his equipment might not even work. Abby, however, doesn't have the luxury of time. Every second wasted is a second stolen from her sister. She has to take the chance. As she begins her trek, they talk along the way. When Abby reveals she's a geologist, John's response sends a chill down her spine. Then you must have come here to look for uranium. How could he possibly know that? That night, sheltering from the biting wind, Abby examines the black stone she found. As she turns it over in her hands, something impossible happens. The stone begins to shift to become malleable. Like clay, it responds to her touch, changing shape. Her scientific mind reels. No rock behaves this way. Is it some kind of advanced, unknown technology? Or is it something not of this earth? The next day, the journey becomes even more harrowing. To conserve the precious battery, she turns off the radio, ignoring John's attempts to talk. She faces a sheer, icy cliff face that seems insurmountable. Defeated, she radios John, who offers hollow comfort, saying he'll pray for her sister. His detached tone infuriates her. Right now, I don't need advice, she snaps, but motivation to keep going. Remembering the strange stone, she has an idea. She pulls it from her bag and, focusing her will, shapes it into a sharp knife. Using this impossible tool, she begins to climb, carving handholds into the ice. When her real knife breaks, the stone becomes her only hope. She molds it, using it to propel herself upward until she finally reaches the summit. But the descent is a sheer drop. Without hesitation, she transforms the stone again, this time into a long, sturdy rope, and rappels down the cliff face. Once at the bottom, John's voice crackles through the radio with an urgent warning. She's approaching the Russian border. If she's seen, she'll be shot on sight. Terrified, she's about to turn back when her foot slips on the ice. She tumbles violently down a slope, severely injuring her leg. The stone flies from her grasp. Limping and in agony, she bandages her leg and forces herself to keep moving, her determination hardening into a diamond-sharp point. As evening falls, she spots a settlement. A flicker of hope ignites within her as she stumbles toward it, desperate for help. But the hope turns to ash. The settlement is abandoned, a ghost town frozen in time. Exhausted and hungry, she finds shelter in one of the empty houses, injects herself with a shot of adrenaline for strength, and collapses. The next morning, a noise startles her awake. Peeking outside, she sees him, a Russian soldier patrolling the area. Fear grips her. She's an intruder here. She hides, but the soldier is suspicious and follows her into the house. With her gun raised and hands trembling, she confronts him as he enters. He raises his own rifle. In a moment of pure panic, a shot rings out. The soldier crumples, a bullet in his leg. It was an accident, but the damage is done. Terrified, she takes his rifle and supply bag, and then she sees it. In his possession is another black stone, identical to hers. The mystery deepens. Just then, a voice comes through the soldier's walkie-talkie. It's the same voice as John's, but he's speaking to the soldier as if he's someone else entirely. The horrifying truth begins to dawn on Abby. John, the voice, this entire ordeal, it's all connected to these impossible stones. Who are you? She screams into the radio, but only silence answers. Now, Abby is faced with a moral crossroads. The soldier is her enemy, yet he's also a victim in this strange, terrifying game. Choosing empathy over fear, she bandages his wound. They are two enemies, one from Europe, one from Russia, now united by a common, unseen foe and shared need to survive. They agree to help each other. As they travel together, John's voice continues to whisper in Abby's ear, now trying to turn her against the wounded soldier, planting seeds of fear and paranoia. Abby realizes the voice, John, must be connected to the stone she carries. In a moment of terrified rebellion, she hurls the black stone away from her. At that exact instant, the ice on the frozen lake, they're crossing cracks beneath the soldier's feet, and he plunges into the frigid water. Abby rushes to help, but the ice gives way beneath her as well, and she's submerged in the shockingly cold depths. The cold seizes her, freezing her body instantly. With a final, desperate surge of adrenaline, she claws her way out of the water, her body shaking uncontrollably. She screams for help, but only the wind answers. Stripping off her wet clothes to fight off hypothermia, she hears John's voice again. In a fit of rage, she rips the battery from the radio and throws it away. But it doesn't matter. She can still hear him. His voice is not on the radio. It's in her head. Exhausted, injured, and on the verge of collapse, she falls into a fitful sleep, dreaming of the warm, happy moments she shared with her sister. She's jolted awake by the sound of a helicopter. Rescue. She gathers the last of her strength, trying to signal it, but she's too weak. Her vision blurs. The world spins, and she falls, tumbling down into a dark pit. The very same cave we saw at the beginning of the film. But this is no ordinary cave. It's filled with warm, therapeutic water that seems to breathe new life into her frozen limbs. And in that water, she sees it, a skeleton clad in a pilot's uniform. On the uniform is a name tag, John. The man she's been talking to has been dead all along. As this horrifying realization sinks in, dozens of the shiny black stones float up from the depths and attach themselves to her body. She's in their sanctum. The stones fly around her, a swirling vortex of alien intelligence, and John's voice fills the space. He explains that 65 years ago, he crashed here just like her. He reveals the truth. The helicopter crash was no accident. The stones, an ancient, non-human intelligence that has existed on Earth for millennia, brought her here. They need a human host to survive, not as a parasite, but as a symbiotic partner. John willingly gave himself to them, and in return, they granted him a form of eternal life, a consciousness without a body. They now offer Abby the same choice: stay with them and live forever, or return to her world. But Abby wants none of it. She didn't fight this hard to become part of an alien collective. She fought for her sister. "I just want to go home," she pleads. In the next instant, she's standing in front of her house. The sun is shining. Life is perfect. She runs inside and embraces Beth, who is healthy and vibrant. But the perfect moment shatters. It's an illusion, a cruel test. She finds herself back at her front door, but when she opens it, a raging blizzard greets her. She walks into the storm, and the world dissolves. Abby wakes up in a hospital. She has been rescued. Wasting no time, she rushes to her sister's side. She arrives home to find her family gathered around Beth's bed. She is just in time to hold her sister's hand as she takes her final, peaceful breath. The aliens, in their own enigmatic way, had granted her wish. She wanted to be with her sister in her final moments, and she was. In the end, having faced an impossible reality and survived, Abby is finally able to accept the one thing she had fought so hard against: death. As John had told her, she couldn't save everyone, but she could be there to let go. And that's The Occupant, a haunting tale about love, sacrifice, and the price we pay for survival. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more movie breakdowns every week. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until then, this is Movies Hub Recap.